Hey there, welcome back to Owl Dragon Adventures. I'm Scott Kegler.
And I'm Rob McPherson.
And this is Rob's Top 10 Solo Games.
All right, so every year we go ahead and we look again through Pub Meeple at our top games of all time and our top games of the year. So we've put out all of those videos. So this is going to be our top solo games of all time as of end of 2024. So because we are indecisive people, we of course are going to cheat on this a little bit. So we've got our top 10, but we're also going to do an up and coming game, which is the one from 2024 that we're not quite ready to allow onto our top 10 list. And then also some honorable mentions. So I'll start off with my honorable mentions. So one of them is a game that I used to play quite a bit on the actual game itself, and then I found out there was an app for it, and I play the app all the time. It's going to be Fleet the Dice game. It's a fishing game. It's pretty straightforward. You're fishing, you're building your fleet. I think it's just a fun combo back and forth between the town and the fleet, and when you get to fish, solid action economy in there.
I like Fleet.
It plays really well multiplayer, but just solo, it's just a nice fun time kill. I play it sitting on my couch all the time.
Cool.
So that's going to be one of my honorable mentions. My other one is going to be one that is something very close to my heart. It's The Adventures of Robin Hood. So I am obsessed with Robin Hood. And this one is just a very storytelling. You got this nice storybook that you go through. I like how the movement works. It's like a measurement with like various meeples in terms of how far you can move, but it's narrative. And it's a bag draw in terms of how conflict is resolved. So solid game. Didn't quite make my top 10, but I really enjoy it. I need to break it out. I have the expansion for it still in Shrink. So, and then my up and coming, this is a new one this year. I really got to loan this to you so you can play it because I think the theme is right up your alley. This can be Endeavor Deep Sea.
Oh, yeah.
It's you're going out and you're exploring the deep sea and diving down and exploring tokens, and it's an action economy game where you only have so many actions you can take, but you can increase each of your tracks, which lets you get more actions. Solid game. I don't know what made me pick it up, but I'm really liking it, even when it does horrible things to me. So yeah, those are my my cheat games. So getting right down to it, I'm going to start with my actual top 10 solo games of all time, starting off with my number 10. So my number 10, this one used to be higher on my list. I used to play this all the time, still crept into my top 10. This is going to be Warp's Edge. It's a bag building game. Love my bag builders. I did just get the upgraded tokens finally with the expansion. When I got that, really elevates the experience.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hard game. It's a little bit of a mean game, but it's really solid.
Kind of like I would call that, like, not that he's been around that long, but I feel like that's like classic Scott Holmes. Like, where I feel like sometimes he misses, but that's definitely one of his strong hits.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's hard in the sense that you're trying to fight this, this big boss at the end, but you've got this waves of fighters coming at you. But it's Warp's Edge. You're going back in time. That's the whole theme of it. Is after each warp, you go back in time, and then you have to shuffle all the cards that you beat back into the top of the deck, and you fight them again. And so it's a clever theme. And it's a solid title.
Yeah, I like Warp's Edge. I don't have my copy anymore, but I played a lot.
You didn't get rid of it?
I did. I played a lot through all those ships, and then I was like, I was good with the puzzle.
You hyper focus on your solo games, so you burn through them faster, except for the ones that stick around. No, I get that. So number 9 is another bag building game. How many bag builders do I have on this list?
I'm guessing 3 or 4.
3.
Okay.
Yeah, 3. Anyways, so this one is blanking on the name of the designer. It's a designer.
Sam Kronowski.
Yes. So this is Resurgence. This is a post-apocalyptic Russian game where you are fighting like mutants and zombies and trying to rebuild your civilization's resurgence. Bag building game, got the little wooden tokens. I don't remember if that's base game or if I got a deluxe copy. Sorry, I can't keep it straight sometimes with that kind of stuff. Really solid game. Plays really well solo. We played it multiplayer a couple of times. And it holds up. It's a light to midway game. It's not very crunchy.
It's like a lighter Orleans or something.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoy the game. Love the theme. I think the artwork is really fun. And it's just, there's a lot to explore in it. And it's a game that you get to explore in, which I always like. So that's gonna be my number 9.
Nice.
Number 8, higher on my all-time list than it is on my solo list, which took my brain a little bit to get used to. But if I have to choose just solo games, this is gonna be Too Many Bones.
Oh.
Love this game so much. It's like D&D adjacent.
Yeah.
Dice chucking, which I don't know why I like it because dice hate me, but the mitigation is
Segation was amazing. Yeah.
Yep. I'll play this anytime anybody wants to play this.
If we have time.
let me caveat that because I know some of my friends are going to be watching this. If we have the time and brain power for me to teach you this game, I will play this anytime anybody.
It definitely is a game where, like, because it's cooperative. I think that's why I'm glad it's not your solo. I could totally get it.
Yeah.
But since it's cooperative, it's easy to teach. It's friendly to teach.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
But it is, yeah, it can be a bear. Particularly people that struggle with any kind of asymmetry. I'm like, don't want to like dive into their the little, what do they call them? The little fact sheets or guides that you get.
Yeah. Everybody, so you have to read your Gearlocks one-sheeter. Like, people ask me, it's like, how do you play this one? I'm like,
I don't know. Read that.
It's been 6 months since I've touched that one. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so Too Many Bones. Fantastic game. Number 7. So this one is new to me this year. I have now all 3 versions of it. I introduced this one to you. You like it. This plays great duo also, which is fantastic. It's going to be Kinfire Delve. So there are 3 copies. There's Callus's Lab, Vainglory's Grotto, and something Scorn.
Oh, yeah. I remember. I have all 3 as well.
Yep. Anyways, it is a roguelike kind of deck delver.
Deck delver. So it's
Yeah.
replicating a dungeon delve, but you're literally going through a deck of cards.
I just love how the reward for beating most monsters is you get to discard cards from the well, and the whole goal is to get to the bottom of the well, which is your deck of cards, to fight the boss at the end. I'd say I only have a 1 out of 3 win rate on this game. That might be being generous.
It's tough.
It's a tough game, but it sometimes feels mean, but it's always fun and it's always entertaining, and it's a 15-minute game,
Right.
maybe 20. So you can just reset and go again. The cards are some of the most beautiful cards I've ever seen in any game. They have the hollow foil or the foil cards in some cases. They're the linen cards. I opened up my copy of it and I was about to play it. I looked at them like, I have to wait until I get sleeves for these cards because they are too nice for me to just, because it's a shuffling game too. So you're shuffling a lot.
Right.
And they're just so beautiful. So I had to sleeve all of them.
I love the character designs too.
Yep, character designs are great. So it's very, very similar to Kinfire Chronicles,
Yeah.
which is their full Gloomhaven-esque campaign game, which I also really adore. So this is just a really nice distillation of that.
Yeah, it's funny because you would talk to me about it, and then I never played it, but I bought one of the boxes and loved it, so then I just buy the other 2 off of Mini Market.
Yep. Such a good game.
Nice.
My number 6. This one is I prefer this solo to multiplayer. Multiplayer's fine. Expeditions. It's a scythe game. I find the puzzle of solo to be really, really solid because you're kind of just navigating around 2 other mechs that are moving along and kind of stealing resources from you. And you can never share spaces in this game, so you really are like weaving in and out of them as they pace back and forth. But it's really a pure engine build. It's a resource gathering to build your engine. So you need to pay for your upgrades and everything. And I don't know what it is, to be 100% honest with you. It's just, it scratches some itch. I really like the gameplay. I got to pick up, there's a grip mat on Etsy for it.
Oh,
okay. It's like, they're like neoprene mats, but they're the opposite. They don't let things slide.
Okay.
So that's my only one little complaint, is that there are all these hex tiles, and if you bump something, it just goes everywhere.
Oh, interesting.
And so this mat, I think, can help with that. I know that you bounce off this one a little bit.
Yeah,
solo.
I haven't tried it solo, and I don't know what it is. I'm terrible at it. And and it's not like I'm terrible at it. I get what I'm doing. Like I don't know why I have trouble with that one.
Yeah, and we've tried it twice now, I think.
Yeah, I don't actively dislike it.
Yeah,
it's just
happens. All right, moving on to my number 5. This one actually might have been the number 5 on my all-time list too. Nope, was a little bit lower. So this is going to be Revive.
Mm.
So post-apocalyptic game. You're climbing out and rebuilding civilization. It is a card playing, a little bit of a deck builder as well, because you're adding new cards to so it is a deck builder. Engine building game. But you're also going out and exploring, and there's a little bit of a spatial puzzle going on, a little bit of an area control going on. And I just really like the action economy. It's kind of like it's my White Castle.
Yeah.
I think, well, actually, I know just from looking at this, I like this better solo than I do multiplayer.
Uh-huh.
And it's because in multiplayer you play until I don't remember what
End game triggers. Yeah.
whatever the end game trigger is. In solo, you play until you have played 20 cards. There's other actions you can do than playing cards, but you have to end up playing cards. So it's a really like you got to figure out the action economy to figure out it's like, okay, I'm going to play this card now so that I can take 3 turns where I'm not playing cards, so I can extend the game. And it's really, really good. As I mentioned in the other video, I broke it out once I got the expansion recently, and I played through it like a dozen times, just right in a row.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll have to try this one again, multiplayer.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely might give it a shot.
Yeah. Number 4. I let this one on this list, even though I didn't let it on my top time of all time. I played it so many times solo. This one's going to be Shackleton Base. So brand new game. Just came out this year. It is from one of my favorite names of a board game company of all time. Sorry, we're French. And it scratches so many nice, just so many itches. It's a little bit of an area control as you're putting your domes out. There's a spatial puzzle because you have to like figure out exactly where you want to place the astronauts so that you get a hold of them, and also get victory points out of them in some cases. Resource management, which is not usually my favorite thing, but it's very limited resources. And it's a space themed game.
Yeah.
I've played this about a half dozen to 10 times solo now. Apparently not enough, because when the one time I played it with Scott, he doubled my score. Not bitter. I don't know. There's just so many things.
I really enjoy it, not just because I won, but it's really good.
He didn't just win.
It's good. I like it.
He embarrassed Sean and I.
It's a good test of intelligence. That's all I have to say about the game. It's really good. It's
the next one on my list, number 3, this is also a space theme game. This has stayed on my top 10 list or top 5 or whatever solo list we've done each year pretty consistently. This is Welcome to the Moon. I haven't played it in a while, but it's a flip and write game. And it's so efficient in the way that you play it. So I'm trying to remember, it's been a little while, but you draw 3 cards. One of them goes into the automa to score that. And then they're also just kind of out of the draw pile from then on. And then you get to play the front of one card and the back of the other card. Depending on which adventure you're on, episode you're on, I think they're called, they react differently.
Right.
But then at the end of, when you get to the bottom of the deck, you shuffle all the cards except for the ones that are going to the automa. So you are culling part of the deck. So you've got to think about it. It's like, okay, I'm going to get that over there, but I got to remember now that's out of the game. Like, I'll never see that again.
Okay.
The cards I play, I can see again. So there's a puzzle there too. In fact, I might break this out again soon.
Awesome.
It's the game that made me start to love verb and write games. Number 2, this has lived on my table until 20 minutes before Scott arrives today to film. It is a table hog and a half. It is a massive game. I 3D printed some new character sheets for it so that I could shrink the profile down to just here, because originally I had folded out my game table and was playing. This is Isofarian Guard, campaign game, akin to like Gloomhaven, Frosthaven, all those kind of things. But the core mechanic here is bag building. And it's bag building where your bag lives with you throughout the adventure. So like if I add good chips to my bag in a combat, if I don't use them that combat, I get to keep them in again for my next combat. Or in the case of the way I'm playing right now, if I get poison chips in my bag, they stay with me. I am literally thinking, I think I'm going to get to my next place where I can kind of like camp out and ensure that I have a save point, as it were. And I'm going to kamikaze, because when you die, all of the negative chips come out of your bag. You lose all your money.
Yeah.
You lose any of your stuff you drop, but also all the bad stuff gets out of your bag. And I have one of my characters, you can only have 5 of any given chip in your bag. One of my characters has 4 poison chips in his bag. And it's just brutal because every time you draw one, you lose a life.
Nice.
It's so brutal, but such a good game.
Nice.
It never moves off that shelf. That is where it will live until we move out of this house, because it is 38 pounds of game.
I feel like it's like stressing that shelf out.
It is stressing that shelf. That is not an optical illusion. It is bending that shelf. And that brings me to my number 1 game of all time, because I am a masochist and I love my Excel sheets. I'm sorry, my number 1 solo game of all time, because I'm a masochist and I love my Excel sheets. This is gonna be Hadrian's Wall. I can't keep track of how many times I've played this game. I've played a multiplayer with you.
Yeah.
It's fine. It does add some things. It does add some.
To be fair, I think my only play of this, or one of my only 2, I was like half awake during it. So
yeah,
that's not a great time to learn a game.
First, this was Gen Con.
Yeah.
Somehow I thought I was going to teach a very complex
after a whole day of Gen Con
game after a day.
In which I was working at too.
It was dumb. At some point, maybe I'll get you to play it again. I love it, but like...
I didn't dislike it. I was just very tired.
Yeah, you're just very tired. But I mean, it's an Excel sheet. But I just love the synergy and the cascading actions you get out of it. I am super, super excited because within the month or 2, the spiritual successor to it, the Anarchy is...
Oh, right. Right.
Scara Bray, right?
Scara Bray, yeah.
Yeah, which I'm also very excited about.
Yeah, that one.
But so I'm very excited I get this, the sequel to this game. I need to go back and finish that solo campaign of Hadrian's Wall. If you like Excel sheets,
yeah.
it's a whole bunch of things. But if you like cascading actions, there is crisis management in it, which surprises me because I really love it. There's the Fords coming at you, because it's Hadrian's Wall. So you have the Celts coming down and attacking you. There's just, I will break this out pretty much. I probably break it out once every 2 weeks at the very minimum, which is saying something because I don't solo game all that much these days because I'm really tired all the time. So Hadrian's Wall, my number 1 game of all time. I can't wait for the sequel to come out for that one. Number 1 solo game of all time. Sorry.
That's all good. Awesome.
Yeah, so that's my top 10 solo list of all time as of right now. I don't get to play solo games as much as I used to and as I would like to, but it will always hold a special place in my heart.
Awesome. Well, if you have any solo game recommendations for Rob based on this list, we'd love to hear about them in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel.
If I am wrong on any of these, well, tough.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, we wish you good luck with all of your future board game adventures.
And thank you for joining us on ours.